Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode / issue of Sonic Says. I'm FTA.
I'm Jono.
I'm T-Bay.
And as we teased at the end of the last part, we are here to finish the final Sonic Universe arc in relation to the Shattered World 2.5 year overly drawn out arc.
Woo! We're in the home stretch, boys.
Home stretch. As we said last issue, if Archie Comics, as of April, is truly done, then we would only have 3 episodes to be finished with all Archie books. New ones, as it were. And as you said, we're here to do Shattered, so we thought we'd really just jump right ahead, because there's no new news, seeing as we're recording this on the exact same day we recorded Eggman's Dozen.
You're breaking the fourth wall.
I mean, there's not a 4-4 in if it's just audio.
Huh. You really got me thinking there.
You're breaking the illusion.
You're breaking the speakers.
You're breaking my heart, Muggsy! So let's go. Sonic Universe, issue 87. And we have Shattered Part 1 closing in. Written by Ian Flynn, pencils by Adam Bryce Thomas, inks by Jim Marsh, colours by the Conqueror of Colours, Matthew Herms, or Matt Herms as he's credited here. Letters by Jack Morelli, and cover by Tracy Yardley and Herms. And this is the start of a series of and Knuckles variants, which is one of the only times the Sonic social media accounts have ever acknowledged the Archie book.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
They're too busy making memes to actually promote their brand.
Unless it's a meme, they won't promote your thing.
That's pretty accurate, actually. Yeah.
It should be more memey. Maybe they'll take notice.
No, they won't take notice of us.
What?
We're not Game Grumps. They don't give a crap.
Do they take notice of Game Grumps?
That's all they do is mention Game Grumps.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what a grumpy game looks like, so.
It's Grumpy Cat, the video game, coming to a Game Boy Color near you.
A device that is not
Tiger
had a
Game
new
Com?
game. The Tiger Game.
I actually have a Tiger Game Com.
The Neo Geo portable pocket power. It needs a watch battery, you know.
Hyper Metal Crystal Sonic Pepsi?
You mean I could be in the Scuba Squad? That's a deep cut reference.
Quit being so mean to the delivery guy. It's not his fault he can't read.
I have a present for you as Clock Radio.
It's Clock Radio. Yeah, thanks for telling me what it is.
I know this guy. He always ordered 2 slices of cheesecake. So, Shattered, Part 1.
So we begin our story with Knuckles climbing down a cliff to the rescue of a fallen bird and a broken emerald shattered glass.
Well, we should say
shark.
it's a bird with a rock on its wing.
Yeah. So is it just pinned down there?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, because it flies later. Because he gets that rock off of
Oh, he gets that rock off,
eagle,
alright.
and then he scoops up the eagle. He glides them out, and the eagle's flying right by him as they're going out of this volcano crevice.
Yeah, he was just pinned. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, he was tapped out. They were like, "You lose to John Cena."
Simpsons tapped out.
So
That bird stole fizzy lifting drinks.
So we greet Amy on our way out of the crevice. Amy, concerned, asks if they're all right. They're like, "Yeah, we're all right." And she's like, "Wait, there was only one Master Emerald shard down there? I thought there were a lot more." And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "More of them falling in?" "Nah, I can sense them. I feel it in my feet."
The Great Emerald's power allows Knuckles to feel.
And Amy's just like, "It's getting close to reunification. We gotta get this over with." And he's like, "I know that." So he's like, "I don't want the floating island to fall into a bunch of lava in the Earth's mantle, and I don't want it to fall onto populated areas. So we gotta do this fast." And Amy comforts him a little. "We have some time left, and we'll get there." So they head off to Castle Acorn, where Amy suggests that they have to meet up with King Acorn to get his blessing because they're getting married, and he is their father, both of their father, everyone's dad. He's like Father Christmas in that way.
It was the one remnant from the Ken Penders era that they cannot get rid of.
King Acorn is just father to all.
Everyone.
Yeah. And,
Thank you, Father.
But anyway,
but that my dad said that was just security doing its job. So they're headed towards Castle Acorn
To blow it up.
to blow it up. They're terrorists. Never trust a hedgehog and echidna with Master Emerald charts. They're gonna blow something up.
racist.
This is the media. The media is influencing me in this way. I mean, you can call this fake news.
It's all that fake Mobian news.
Fake Mobian news. And Knuckles is like, can't we just dig around? And Amy's like, come on. We gotta be polite. Would you like it if we came along and just looked around on the floating island? I know you didn't like that before. And he's like, I guess, but that was different. And she's like, how? How, Knuckles?
Because that's my land.
My land. I will shoot you if you step foot on my island.
Knuckles picks up Shadow's gun from the Shadow Games.
Knack, knack, it's Knuckles.
Bang, bang, it's shooters.
I like the idea of Knuckles sitting on Emerald Isle with a shotgun just waiting.
We don't take kindly to your tops around
That
here.
is my next commission from Tracy Hartley.
Yeah, he did draw Shady Acorn of a shotgun.
Yeah.
He probably did it.
Knuckles, I think it makes a little more sense.
Give him like a dungarees and like one of those long pieces of grass. I was we don't take kindly to your tops.
When you said
around here.
dungaree, I thought of Dungadoo, the Australian guy.
Dingle
No, the movie
Crocodile
Crocodile Dundee. So just make
Call that a
Knuckles
knife. Call that an emerald. This is an
you
emerald.
call those knuckles? These are knuckles.
I see you've played Knuckle Knifey before.
So they get to Castle Acorn, where lo and behold, guess who's there besides the king? It's Team Dark, who we knew were going to be in this because we were advertised as a Knuckles and Amy story, and of
Yes.
course, Knuckles and Amy.
4 pages into it,
Yeah,
Team Dark are taking over.
yeah. It's a blackout, dark out, Knuckles.
Knuckles out.
Yeah. So the king is very happy to see them, and like, smashing job on your tournament against Sonic. Very good, jolly good
And
show.
that voice very offensive.
Is it? I'm sorry. I mean, you can do all of
Here,
all
no,
the
no,
King Acorn.
I will do this justice. Let me be King Acorn.
Nigel Thornicorn.
Nigel Thornick.
Smashing.
Hello, mate. I haven't seen you since the Sonic tournament, mate.
Right, bollocks it was. You almost crimped him at the crump.
What?
No, I knew one British word,
It's your
and that was
language.
it.
I like how Jonathan last time was like, we spent way too much time describing the story for Eggman's Dozen. And then he's like, I'm going to go and do a little bit of British acting now while you say King
To be fair,
Acorns.
that's not describing the story. That's just riffing off the story.
Page
We
6
did too
and we go for
much.
17 hours.
Ah! So they're greeting. Nigel Thornicorn automatically is like, hey, something's weird going on. You're giving the stare down.
We used to date. Which one? All of us? Especially the robots.
Illogical.
So Knuckles and Shadow are still a little on the outs from their adventures together in the trilogy of earlier issues. Read those earlier issues or
Yes.
watch our thing. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't remember. So they're like, "Come on, guys, let's get things going." You know, water on the bridge, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to find Eclipse." And it's like, Eclipse is still out
what?
there. So Eclipse, the Dark, who was from the trilogy, the what are they called? What are the
The Knuckle Shadow trilogy.
The Knuckle, like the
Probably
yeah.
the Eclipse
Shadow-
trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shadowfall, Great Chaos Caper,
Okay.
and
And
Eclipse.
Which, because, yeah, probably just the Eclipse trilogy.
So the area that they want to search for on West Side Island is has a huge energy reading, and they think, oh well, Eclipse is probably there, so we got to check it out. And
There's
they're like,
a great
wow.
panel, though, where Omega's like, I do not wish to share the alien slaughter with them. Which I was like, that's one of the shards, man. You can Kill him all yourself. He's like, understood. This is acceptable.
The one thing I don't like about that panel is Shadow is smiling. Yeah, I don't think Shadow would smile about that. I think he would still just be kind of frowny.
He'd just be like, "You idiots."
This is the trap of MBM, you stupid idiot.
They literally are going to the trap of MBM.
Oh. So King Acorn is like, oh yes, of course you can go on my land and you can go root through my garbage and do all that good stuff. And then it gets serious all of a sudden. The temperature in the room goes down, the humidity and all of that. And
Stuff happens.
yeah, so King Acorn gets all real for a couple seconds. He's like, now, you gun agents, I've got my eye on you. I will trust you. But I am still wary of when the former administration of Gun came into the land and, I didn't trust them. They did bad things. And I don't like that you didn't straight up tell me that Eclipse was out there and that he could be a threat.
It's a weird thing in that panel. It looks like the king's missing an eye. The way it's shaded, it looks like he should be wearing like an eye patch or something.
It's a styling choice. It's because they do that sometimes in I think manga, where they hatch out the like one side of the face to make it dramatic.
Yeah, but I would say the lighting isn't dark enough for that to make sense. It's an odd choice. I would just say that.
It is noticeably, the colors are noticeably
bright.
No, well, from the last panel, they're noticeably a little more dull. They could be duller, I suppose. But there is a little bit of a change. And then, of course, the background of the next one, where they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll be better next time." Sorry, the background is black, so it does help to give that.
Racist.
It does help to give that impression. And they're like, and then he's like, "Oh, go, good luck." So, Rouge pulls out some Master Emerald shards from wherever these animals keep their jewelry and gems, and gives them to Knuckles. And Knuckles is like, "You're just giving them to me?" She's like, "I've got a job to do, handsome. I gotta focus."
I mean, I'm trying to... There's a few odd... In that panel when Knuckles is like, hand him over, and Rouge says, "Whatever do you mean?" And in that panel and the panel that precedes it, where she first shows the Master Emerald shards, slight, not continuity mistake, but a design mistake, where they... And this is super nitpicky, super nerdy. I shouldn't even be bringing it up. But they draw lipstick on Rouge's upper lip. When normally it should only be on the bottom one. But there's a very slight line of pink on both of them. Very, very small, very, I'm not sure if it's just a simple printing mistake, but they give a discernible lipstick, and it's really dumb, and I shouldn't even say anything, but yeah, that's there.
Do you want to make Matt Herms mad?
Not the conqueror anymore, Matt.
Hey fam, you check out the nerd?
Nerd going against the Herms, man? Gotta beat up this nerd.
My own home.
Brutality.
Brutality.
I do like they do go to a gun transport. I love that the colors get cooler once they get into the transport.
Matt Herms knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I mean, you don't think so, but I think so. Right, T-Bay?
Right.
Yeah.
TJ's watching Smash Rooms. He's knowing what's going on.
Yeah, nice quarter circle back turn.
If he's not describing what's going on, he just does not care.
That's not true.
He's like, when you describe it, I don't care. It's like, oh, thank you. So, then they're like, well, where are all the gun helicarriers? did the Avengers take one again? They're like, no, they're going off and doing crowd control
For Major Tom.
for Major Tom. They're saving people. You know, there's a little bit of a. I feel like there's a little bit of a. You know, I guess Sonic has to save the entire world, or it's Gun will keep the world secure, while Sonic and the Freedom Fighters save it.
Freedom Fibers.
Fibers.
And Amy's like jealous. And she goes, Hachi Hachi!
So apparently the gun robots are handling the drunken Dark Gaia drunken people, which I think is kind of funny, especially this panel where this guy's like, what? Like very very like wimpy, like bad at him.
Story
He's
of a
just,
wimpy
like,
kid.
He's just like holding him.
I would say there's a panel in the top right hand corner. It's kind of this like downward shot looking up of Shadow speaking.
Yeah.
That's an amazing panel. Like I love that artwork. Looks fantastic.
I love that,
That's
and
an
I love the
amazing
little splash of gray behind him.
panel.
Like it's very good. So then they go to the Mystic Cave Zone, which boom, boom, boom. We're not gonna stay here long. So they go deep, deep down into the Mystic Ruins until
They keep going down, straight down.
They're not even in the freaking ruins anymore. They passed straight through it, and we didn't get to see one lantern, which is what I'm upset
you
about.
know why? I just realized this is Ian making the iPhone port of Sonic 2 canon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was
you didn't know
saying.
that?
Yeah, well, I haven't read this in over a year.
Yeah.
Because that's why I was saying they were going to the trap of MBM.
Yeah, they dropped down into the originally lost level Hidden Palace, the original Hidden Palace zone.
I'd still keep that palace hidden, if you know what I mean.
It's not a very good level.
I think it's fine. There are dinosaurs there. That's all I ever asked.
It's not
That's
a
all
very
I
good
wanted.
level. Keep going.
So they're exploring around, and Amy's like, hey, there's only one Master Emerald, right? And of course, they see giant gems, which if you played the iPhone port, giant gems.
Or just seen the screenshots
Yeah.
of the original version. They had giant gems, emeralds in the floor.
Which, nice.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that Rouge automatically starts snuggling up to it, trying to make out with it. You know, it's cool. This kind of reminds me
I
of
ship it.
in STC, where Knuckles goes on that quest, and he goes and he finds another emerald to make the Master of Emerald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had to do that, and he faced dinosaurs then too. So, I mean, not in this
He
comic.
faced all kinds of weird crap
Yeah.
now in that arc.
Cultists. We'll get to that
Village of the Damned.
soon.
Really good arc.
We'll have to change it to Village of the Darned for our American
No,
viewers.
they said damned in the Krish.
This is Sonic Says.
Again, I'm just surprised that was approved.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's not as high a moral standards as in, like, I think the U.S. is a little more like, damn,
The vapors.
the vapors. So they're like, so is this a Master Emerald? Does this have the energy of a Master Emerald? And Omega's like, no, it's good. So
Great
Rouge,
Omega impression.
nah, it's good. Affirmative. I'm gonna blow everything up. That's how he sounds like, right?
Just sure.
I mean, it was he first appeared in Heroes, so I automatically turned off the system and threw it out.
Good man.
Yep.
Smart man.
So Amy and Rouge go off together.
I played the whole thing and I turned out TV.
So Zelda and Rouge, Amy and Rouge,
Zelda and Rouge.
Amy and Rouge,
Zelda and Peach.
Zelda and Peach go off together. Omega goes off alone, and Rouge sets up Knuckles and Shadow so they can make up and possibly make out, hopefully, if my fanfiction comes true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Knuckles and Shadow are not too happy, and they run off together.
There's a really nice moment where when Shadow goes, "What if Eclipse gets in my head again?" And Rouge just goes, "Knuckles can beat the mind control out of you."
That's the best answer to anything, you know?
As he says that, Knuckles is just like cracking his fists, ready to pounce on
His
Shadow.
knuckles, as it were.
Sheepson. So we start off following Amy and Rouge, and Rouge is just going on and on about how beautiful all these gems are. To me, I think they're all very green and too big to wear. But that's just me. But then the kryptonite turns sinister. And
as it's wanting to do.
Kryptonite. It's really that scene from Superman Returns where he makes that kryptonite island, except it's more I'm gonna stab you.
Let's not talk about Superman Returns.
Okay, but anyway, crystals start to try and stab Rouge and Amy. Then Omega is alone, being like, "Oh, I hate all these crystals. They're getting in the way of my my scanning stuff. I can't use my extrasensory scanners to look for things with all this garbage. Can I blow it up? No, that'll kill people. Guess I won't. I guess I won't." And then he comes across a mysterious figure, which blasts him, making him all shiny and almost, dare I say, crystalline?
Dun dun.
You may.
Dun.
Good, because I did. And then we finish up with Knuckles and Shadow. Hopping down, we see our one lantern from Mystic Cave. So I'm happy. We can end this arc here.
Game's over, boys. We're done. Back it up. Let's go home.
Alright, you get that. Somebody yell lunch.
Launch.
Launchpad McQuack, he here?
That's not the name of the song.
I wish it was.
So Knuckles is like, "You're slowing me down," and Shadow's like, "I'm slowing you down." And they're kind of bickering.
That's what I said. He's slowing me down.
Listen, you're not listening. This is why we're in counseling. So they meet up with this mysterious figure who is apparently an echidna. I thought they were all extinct. Whose name is Nixus. I think he's a brother to Richard Nixon. I'm not sure.
I am not an echidna.
I don't know that for sure.
I don't have Richard M. Nixus to kick around anymore.
I did not do
Well,
that
listen,
thing.
you dropped on communist. I paid for this body.
I did not shatter that emerald.
That was a good Republican body. It was riddled with phlebitis.
We got a Sonic Universe issue 88. Human. Shattered Part 2 of 4. Shattered Part 2 Lies and Half-Truths. Written by Ian Flynn. Pencils by Adam Bryce Thomas. Inks by Jim Marsh. Colours by Matt Holmes. Letters by Jack Morelli. And cover by Tracy Yardley and Matt Holmes.
We pick up with the crystalline stabbing of Amy and Rouge. They're getting poked at from all corners by these kryptonite crystals. And so Amy's just like, "I'm going to smash him with my Pico Pico hammer." And Rouge is like, I don't know about that. And then they're like, "Something's coming. Do it faster." So we get this nice panel of Nixus and Knuckles kind of pacing around each other. And Knuckles is a little skeptical. He's like, "I thought I was the last one." He's like, "I thought I was the last one." So they're kind of echidna checking each other. And Knuckles is like, "I don't know
like
if
wild
I should..."
animals. They're
Yeah.
just like circling. They're just like...
Trying to sniff each other's butt. I mean, I guess they are animals technically. So they could
sniff
be
each other's dreadlocks.
dreadlocks. That's the echidna equivalent for echidnas, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Uneducated Gareth over here.
So Nixus is like, "What are you doing down here?" And Knuckles is like, "What are you down here?" They're like, "I'm looking for the Master Emerald Shards." "I'm looking for the Master Emerald Shards." And like, "This is weird." He's like, "Hey, Shadow, is this weird?" "Yeah, it's weird."
Shadow's like, "Step aside, fool. I shall interrogate the scum."
So he beats him to a pulp, and he's dead, and we're done.
I wish.
No. So Nixus gives this story where he's like, "Yeah, I fell off the island, drunken party. You know, echidnas were wild back in the day."
Dr. Zachary used to hold some great parties.
Yeah. You couldn't even tell him and Finitive of this apart.
They were the same person.
Yeah.
Archie, you thieving scum!
All white echidnas look the same. That was Nixus. Nixus is such a echidna racist.
It's a self-hating echidna.
He's like, yeah, I fell off the island, and I traveled around trying to find the island. So I found these emerald pieces, and I thought maybe this would be my ticket back to the island.
And Knuckles is like, he's like me, but in reverse.
And they're like, we're skeptical, but we'll kind of go along with it. And Shadow's still like, we need to find Eclipse. Isn't anyone worried about Eclipse? He's been alone with his babies for too long. So, Amy and Rouge break free when they're met by a mysterious shadowy figure who is different from the earlier shadowy figure that I mentioned. Shadow picks up their urgent call over the headset and is like, we're on our way! So Shadow runs off towards him while Knuckles heads off with Nixus, who begins lecturing him on troll history, which I would love to sit in on that lecture, but I'm not about to pay $1,000 for 4 credit hours for this. It's not transferable, and I'm already way too in debt.
I took Trolls 101.
I
Security!
I saw the DreamWorks movie Trolls. Get out of my school.
Please, I wrote my thesis on trolls. Their hair to their derriere. That was the title.
Mwah.
So,
Please get this man a chair.
What? That didn't make any sense.
is it a chair to beat me over the head with because that was such a bad joke?
I despise you, TJ. Carry on, Jonathan.
So, he's like, the trolls, they were great people. They were the second great civilization. They were scholars. They had a funny wardrobe where they all looked, I don't know. He doesn't explain this, but we can see from the picture that they clearly enslaved Mobians to bring them fruit, and such. Until...
I'm pretty sure they probably didn't enslave them to do more than just bring them fruit.
No, that's all the trolls wanted.
That's all I see in this picture. That's all I can...
Alright, are you a troll apologist now?
Yeah.
Oh. My mistake.
You a troll denier? The trolls happened.
Please continue. Just continue, Jonathan.
Oh, shame. Like, unbearable shame.
And you
This was once one of their many crystal mines. So they had crystal mines, and they used the crystals to build technology. But then, there was this guy, apparently. There's some sort of weird event that wiped out the trolls overnight. And it looks from the picture like someone might be going super. That's my speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of humanoid super form. And so Knuckles is like, yeah, that reminds me of Chaos. He's like, yeah, whatever. But the trolls are awesome. And he's like, wow, you sure do like trolls. Like, a lot. I have all their dolls. All of them. Every single one.
Even the stone protectors.
Yeah. And then he's like, what about, he's like, and they got their power not from the Chaos Emeralds, but from Ixis, a primordial being. And he's like, wow, you really like this Nixus guy. He's like, I just like history.
And then we see the organ, which I think is part of the...
It's in the level. It's part of the boss.
It's part of the boss
isn't it?
fight,
it's
yeah.
the boss.
Which is, I think, one of the worst boss fights in classic Sonic history.
But instead
fair.
of leading to a boss, it leads to a secret chamber that has nothing in it. Kind of a letdown. If you're going to have a secret chamber, at least have, I don't know, back issues of Sonic the Hedgehog. And so, Knuckles is like...
Knuckles is like, oh my god, are those long boxes?
Oh, you have the rare Sonic and Sabrina crossover issue?
I thought they brought those because it's terrible.
Not very good. I'll take 7.
For all my cats.
All 7 of them. So he throws out all his Master Emerald shards, about to assemble them. And then something weird happens to Nixus, who I thought was a stand-up guy. But apparently, Nixus goes through a little bit of a transformation and becomes Walter Nogus. I didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming.
Carry on.
So we cut back to Amy and Rouge fighting what appears to be a crystallized Omega.
But the crystal formation on the top of his head makes him look kind of like a cross between Silver and Goku.
Silver Goku or Omega. That's what he's called.
Silvoku?
Sudoku.
Sudoku loving Omega over here. So Shadow intervenes and bonks him on the head, which knocks him out for a little bit. And so Amy's like, where is Knuckles? Where'd that knucklehead go? Shadow's like, oh, he's off with this guy named Nixus. And she's like, Nixus? That's weird. And he's an echidna? And then shocked. We better go find him. I don't think that's right. But sadly, Omega wakes up and Shadow Chaos Spears him to get him back down. Nixus does his whole entrap people in crystals thing to Knuckles, where he likes to pinch his cheeks for some reason. He's like, here you go.
That's what happens when you have a...
Yeah. You got a claw for a hand?
Yeah, I mean, he's using his normal hand, but, like, you'd think that he'd just kind of get used to it and then be ambidextrous with it, just like both hands are kind of clawy.
Yeah. So, Ixis Naugus tries to put the Master Emerald back together. Can't really get it started. Not terribly used to this sort of thing.
He's having performance issues, as it
Yeah. Knuckles starts laughing at him out loud. And he's like, I should have just let you do it, you son of a gun.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And so Knuckles, being the fighting freak he is, breaks out and starts to want to clobber at the wizard.
I'll
Naugus,
show you.
Yeah, Naugus in true
How
Iceman.
wizard you?
Naugus in true Iceman fashion goes off in on a ever-extending crystal.
Which means there's another panel where like Knuckles is lunging towards Nixus and they colour it with him like with a blacked out eye.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, this is like I imagine if that is a Adam Bryce Thomas
Stylistic
choice. But it just makes him look like it's he's missing an eye.
I never thought of it that way. And I still don't.
Yeah, I still don't either. You said you brought that up twice, and both times I was just like, it's just a stylistic choice.
I know it's a stylistic choice, but it's just
that's an anime thing.
The reason why it doesn't work for me
Not
is
down with the Animus.
the reason why it doesn't work for me is because it's like it's specific panels where, and I'm just thinking, I know this is an odd thing to bring up for in a comic book, but in context of the rest of these panels, this lighting choice makes no sense. It suddenly gets. I mean, I know it's a stylistic choice.
No, I'm saying it's an anime thing.
But this isn't an anime. We should be thankful for that because it's not terrible.
But it'd have a dang good opening.
It would have.
Kawaii!
Oh,
Kawaii!
And then nothing would happen for the first 20 minutes of every episode.
On the last issue of Sonic Universe.
Pretty much.
So Naugus Iceman's away, and Knuckles climbs up after him. Naugus seals him off and is like, "You've got to save your friends, or else you'll be a terrible person." And Knuckles is like, "I guess that would make me a terrible person. I better do it." But luckily, Shadow, Rouge, and Amy are all right, and Amy goes in for a hug, which I would do, and a fist bump. Pretty rad, pretty down with the kids. But sadly, Omega's back, and he's all Naugus cloudy, and shoots at him. And that's where we end our issue.
Boom, boom, boom. And now we go to Sonic Universe, issue 89, Shattered, part 3 of 4. Lost and Found. Written by Ian Flynn, pencils by Adam Bryce Thomas, inks by Jim Marsh, colours by Matt Holmes, letters by Jack Morelli, cover art by Tracy Ali and Matt Holmes. And for part 3 specific Knuckles variant, it's the Ryan Jampold Awesome Chaotix inspired Why Am I Connected to the Bee? Cover art.
Yeah. Nice little nod back to Chaotix.
And also
Game Grumps.
a nod to Gabriel, which is why the... Or is it,
Well, no, specifically
technically
Ego
Egoraptor, which is why the Sonic media made a point to promote that one.
I am
suck up to Egoraptor.
Game Grumps ignorant, so I excuse
I envy
my...
you. Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage? What?
Sure.
Okay. So, we start off where we left off with Omega freaking out on his friends. So, they fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. Fight. The Sonic the Hedgehog comes. When all of a sudden, Amy gets a phone call from our lady, Sally Acorn, who's like, which this is also in, this is a connection to the Sonic the Hedgehog issue going on at the similar time.
And
Panic in the Sky, part whatever. So she's like, this is bad time. And Sally's like, well, you better hurry up. We lost control of our plan. You gotta get that Master Emerald back and done. She's like, okay, bye now. So...
There's a great panel of Omega just sucking Shadow in the face.
Yeah, there's been some nice cheek pummelage, whatever it is called. Rouge does her patented kicks, and Knuckles does his patented punches. But it is no use, as some would say. Omega is still pummeling them into the ground. But with a little teamwork, I think we can get somewhere. Amy whacks Shadow in a spin dash at Omega and knocks him down for a little bit. And then we cut back to Naugus, still trying to reunify the Master Emerald. And he thinks back about his life and all the terrible mistakes he made, which I do constantly, even in this review. So he's like, I shouldn't have trusted Eggman. He threw me into the special zone. I shouldn't have posed as King Acorn because Sonic and Tails beat me up. And then there's all that witch cart.
Well, there's a nice bit. Well, this is the third panel is referencing what we saw in Eggman's Dozen.
Yeah.
It's the end of the Sonic 2/Tails Sky Patrol off-screen adaptation.
Well, and when
nice.
we get to it, the middle panel of the flashback is a reference to a story that gets hinted but not fully told in Genesis of Hero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
he's
maybe
like,
it would have in part 4.
I doubt it. No, it had
we'll
no
never know.
connection.
We'll never know now.
Yeah. So he's like, but then Dr. Eggman, I still had my powers, but then Dr. Eggman had to go and Super Genesis wave everything up, and I was in an alternate the pocket dimension, so I lost all my powers, and now I'm a wimp. I stole some stuff from Eggman to make myself look like King Acorn, because I'm a one-trick pony, and it didn't work the first time, but I'm sure as heck gonna try it again. So, I guess I looked a little fishy, posing as King Acorn. So Sally sent Nicole,
Boy, I sure do hate Nancy.
sent Nicole to spy on me. She figured it out. But then Eggman sent Tails Doll on me. And all of this is referenced to the...
Story just before Worlds Collide, isn't it?
It's right after Worlds Collide when they come back and Naugus is there and it's got the weird Tails Doll attack.
Well, yeah, but wasn't that also part of what was happening just before?
A little bit, but this is what takes place instead of what happened before and what happened after. So it's kind of filling in the blanks there, which is nice. Because you're like, why was Naugus there? I don't know.
Anyway.
But after all of this reminiscing about his failures, because he's a screw-up, he finally gets the Master Emerald back together. And then, but meanwhile, Knuckles and Amy and Shadow and Rouge are still fighting Omega.
Oh.
But luckily, Knuckles noticed they've made a crack. Crack, a dink, a schlink in the army. And so they're like, we gotta focus on this crickle crackle.
He's just making up his
God,
own language.
let him keep going.
Let's see where this goes. Boss, should I cut him off? No. Let's
So
see
they-
where this goes.
So they spin dash, they drill kick, and they take a spiky ball and whack it into his chest and free Omega from his crystalline shackles. From his rusty shackles. Rusty Shackleford.
Bucket said.
Pocket saying, sha.
That's what Knuckles should have done to defeat Omega.
Sensors.
Oh. With Omega back, they're all on board for killing the crud out of Ixis Naugus.
Just let the boy keep going. Just let him. He's got to do it.
That's what I'm bored for killing the
It's true. I mean, I'm not lying.
I don't think Amy wants murder. I'm
Hold
sure.
on. She's the less okay with
I'm
it.
sure
Like, there's a
Omega's-
spectrum.
Please, you haven't read this book for a year. Let the boy.
Let's see where he goes.
There's a spectrum from I would like to kill him a little bit, which is Amy, to Omega, which is full on murderate him.
Murder rate.
Yeah.
I do. Dubious apology. I am sorry. I have expended a great deal of energy in service to Walter Naugus. To make amends, I will now expend equal amounts of energy in destroying Walter Naugus.
Oh. So
But it's one of the best Omega as he blows a hole in the ice, just stand aside, inferior mammal. Like, Ian, the sort of characters that Ian Flynn just gets perfect, like Eggman, Omega, and Bean.
yeah,
I just like
that's the trifecta.
It's like nobody writes those characters better than Ian Flynn does.
Chaotix. He also does really well with.
He does good, but he put a stamp on Omega and Bean that was
Yeah.
nowhere. Like the characters, he's kind of doing what they were in the games.
Yeah, well, I'm not sharing my reward sandwich.
Why do you keep the kid around, Vector? He's a tax write-off.
So, we end the issue stumbling into the secret fortress, or the secret chamber, where Naugus has already completely reattached with superglue, I assume, the Master Emerald. And they all get crystallized. The end. End of story. Except there's another part.
Oh, there is? Oh, no.
But anyway.
Yeah, so I guess maybe they don't stay crystallized by Ixis Naugus, and Ixis Naugus doesn't rule the world, but you know.
Sonic Universe, issue 90, Shattered, part 4 of 4, finale, Restoration. Written by Ian Flynn. Pencils by Adam Bryce Thomas. Inks by Jim Marsh. Colours by Matt Herms. Letters by Jack Morelli. Cover by Tracy Yardley and Matt Herms. And the at Knuckles variant is by a friend of FTCR, Evan Stanley. And by friend, I mean she was in one thing we did once 3 years ago. She probably has no idea who we are anymore.
See, whenever we bring up, we specifically point out, people are like, what? And they're like, oh, we used to do that, and then we went on like a year hiatus. I'm like, huh.
So did Archie. We were just following
Yeah.
suit.
Speaking of maniacal laughter, we cut to Julian Walter Mondale Naugus.
I'm
laughing.
sorry, but they kind of drew Ruse in like a goose step right here.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking. Page 2, because we're done. We're done.
It's like Rouge changed alliances so
We
she
are
wouldn't
done.
so she wouldn't be frozen.
We are done.
I'm totally on your
We're
side,
done.
Nixus. Totally on your side.
We are done with the first page. Everything from before the first page does not exist.
I so want to make a joke that is not appropriate for this podcast right now.
To be fair, I already made some of those jokes. But also, first page and before doesn't exist.
Doesn't anymore.
Moving on.
Let's go.
So he uses the Master Emerald as a cell phone to call Wendy, and Wendy's like, I don't care what you're up to. I'm snuggling up to my man Eggman. And he's like, you traitor! And then they hang up, and he's all mad.
He turned into the Count from Sesame Street for some reason.
1, a 2, a 3 rings! You picked up. And then he pets the crystal that Knuckles is in, and he's like, you're not going anywhere, am I pretty? And then we move on to the sepia tone section.
A nice flashback. And I would say this is just an example of just how the amazing colouring work that Matt Herm does. I mean, this flashback just looks great. And this 2-page scene is indicative of what I thought this arc was going to be.
What I wish it was
What I
more.
wanted it character moments between Knuckles and Amy.
Yeah. Instead, we got Team Dark, which I like Team Dark, but I wanted to focus on Knuckles.
We already
and Amy.
had a Knuckles Team Dark arc like 2 arcs ago.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, go explain what it is.
So it's a little bit of a heart. It's a heart to heart with Amy's and Knuckles.
Amy's and Knuckles.
Yes. So Amy's flying in her. Is that her All-Star Racing transformed car?
No, dude, that's a Sonic R car.
Is it?
I think that's because the wheels would go up like that when it went over water.
You're right.
So
Oh my gosh.
I think that's a reference to her Sonic R
cool.
car.
But now apparently you can just fly
Or is
in the air.
that the car that Johnny flew in as a vampire?
Johnny Tests?
It's a deep cut reference.
Johnny, as in some call me?
No,
Johnny, some call
Johnny
me.
is in
from the room.
From the room.
There was a deleted subplot where Tommy Wiseau wanted Johnny to be a vampire who
Okay.
flew around at night in a flying car.
Well, I would have preferred it to
Moving on.
have been Johnny,
Johnny
some
5
call me.
is alive.
Johnny 5 is alive. So, Knuckles seems down. And he's like, what's on your mind, big guy? Cleans glass, gives him some beer. Just playing kind of bartender.
While driving that
While
alive.
driving.
City
Bad.
girl. City girl.
It's not the 1950s. You can't do that anymore.
Speakeasy.
So Knuckles is like, I'm the guardian of the Master Emerald, and I'm not doing a good job. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's been shattered. People steal it all the time. Shadow's being a douche to me. And she's like, forget about all of that. You're doing a good job. In my mind, you and Sonic are good guys. You're heroes. Pat on the shoulder.
I mean, he's a way better hero than you, but yeah, you're okay, I guess.
She's like, you know what? But the best part is, you're inspiring because you never give up fighting. You keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting.
I would love that
keep
if
fighting.
in the panel where they fist bump, if it's like in Champions where he does that, he just goes flying off the screen again.
I like it. I prefer if it was like in The Simpsons, where Marge is, where it's like she actually says "keep fighting," and he's like, "You got to keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting." And I was like, "Why do you keep repeating yourself? Because that'll make you remember it better."
Part of us all. Part of us all. Part of us all. Well,
Right.
it does work.
And this, I love this page. The coloring on this is great. Like, you can see, like, emerald energy, I guess, like, flowing into Knuckles and just helping him to gain the strength to break out of this crystal prison.
With one of the greatest Ian Flynn lines of all time.
Yeah. I want that on a shirt. The credits Ian Flynn. It's like those Bible verses, John 3:16. Flynn, Universe...
Flynn
890, page 5.
Flynn 95.
Yeah.
And doth the Lord did say HHRAUGH.
He almost looks like old Knuckles here. Like
Old as in an old man, or old as in classic?
old as in classic.
Yeah, this is something that I've been thinking about. His snout is a lot more elongated than I feel, than modern Knuckles. I feel like modern Knuckles, they kind of shrank it, like pushed it back into his face. But if you look at like Sonic R, Sonic, specifically, I think Sonic Jam maybe, and before, like the art for that, his snout is pretty
His
big.
snout was almost like straight forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Adam Bryce Thomas likes to go back to that and homage that. But Knuckles is flaming mad.
I love angry looking Knuckles. Like whenever we see Knuckles angry at punching things, like my favorite panel in Mega Drive Next Level is Knuckles punching Metal Sonic.
See,
It's like so good.
It kind of makes me want to, like, I wish we would get to the spot where we could have a Knuckles series again.
That wasn't terrible.
It wasn't
like the last one.
Yeah. There was more about Knuckles and how angry he was.
Just every scene is just Knuckles just punching the crap out of people.
Every scene is Knuckles in therapy talking about how angry he is. He's like, I don't know. I just
don't.
not a happy person.
I just get so angry. And then I use my knuckles.
I use my knuckles for everything.
It's
Just
like,
punches the therapist.
I'll show you how. Bam.
it's like when there's something triggers it, I don't know what it is, and then someone comes to the door and they're like, and he's like, it's Knuckles.
It's Knuckles. I love that. Ian Flynn, make it so.
Like it's so. Number one.
So he frees everyone else out,
Except Amy.
except for Amy.
She's been
She's-
taken by Nogus.
Where is she? Okay, thank you. Thank you. She has been taken by Nagus. You can forget that, and I'll reintroduce it later, or you can keep remembering that. So he senses the Master Emerald
Knuckles
below
does.
them with his feet, of course. Well, actually, it looks like he put his hand on the floor, but we're gonna pretend that it's his feet. And so Omega's like, I'll create a shortcut, and just blasts through the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So beam of energy comes falling down right next to Nagus. He's like, what? Who is in a room with Amy, the Master Emerald, and a familiar-looking thing in the background. It looks kind of like some sort of teleportation device.
Teleportation, yeah.
Yeah.
Shibbity boo wop. Boo wop.
So Nagus automatically gets kicked in the face, Silver style, by Shadow. It's like the roundhouse kick to the back of his head. Remember that? That happened.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. So while everyone is beaten up on Nagus, Knuckles frees Amy, and then Nagus is like, "Hey, I'm gonna crystallize that robot again," and Amy's like, "Nope." And so her Pico Pico hammer gets all cool and spiky. I would not mind having a spiky hammer. And she's like, I'm gonna pound you. And he's like, nope. Transforms into Sonic. And he's like, you would not hit your true love, would you?
This is a great moment. I love this next moment. He was just like, don't insult me.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? You don't deserve to get hit by me. I've got two guys here who would love to beat the crud out of Sonic.
And you. And then like, this awesome image of Shadow and Knuckles just both punching fake Sonic in the face.
Yeah, I love how his head gets whacked around. He's got permanent indents on his cheeks that
Both
are already
sides.
bruised on both sides. So Shadow's got him in a headlock, and Rouge is like, Knuckles, tag out! And he's like, I want to punch the crud out of Nagus. We're going to kill the crud out
We're
of
gonna kill the
Nagus.
crud out of We all agreed to it. No backseas, Rouge. We agreed to kill the crud out of this guy.
We made a blood pact. We are going to follow through. So she's like, no,
And
dummy.
Shadow's like, less talking, more punching.
Let's talk more stabby, more gunny.
More good.
I brought some guns from Gun. So she's like, no, dummy, you gotta take the Master Emerald back to the floating island with this thing that looks like a familiar teleportation device. And he's like, okay. So him and Amy teleport to Sky Sanctuary, while the ever-loving Crud is being beat out by Nagus. Or being beat out of Nagus.
Being killed out of Nagus.
Being killed out of Nagus. Like, wow, I knew those transporters looked similar. So they make their way through the Sky Sanctuary and race towards Emerald Isle to try and put the Chaos Emerald back in the altar. While, of course, for dramatic effect, the floating island is crashing, starting to crash towards the reforming planet that has been broken apart.
There were some great smaller panels of the fight with Norgus. The last panel was just Shadow punching Norgus in the face. It just was just spit coming out of Norgus's mouth. That's great.
See, this is very similar to the
Champions.
I was going to say this is very similar to the page in Eggman's Dozen where they show off all the egg bosses. But yes, also.
Well, I would say in terms of the panel progression, this is a much because that also was a double page spread, and then with the panels on the side.
I was just thinking of the panels.
The
panels on the side. I love this 2-page splash. It's
it is really
the
good.
island is it's not really focusing, like the focus isn't really on the main characters. It's on the island, which for you wouldn't think I'd be so like, oh yeah, this is awesome for like a picture of an island, but it's great. It's going down. And then you just see
realized
everything going around it.
We missed one of my favorite jokes.
Slow.
So when Knuckles gets mad that he let Naugus like reform the Master Emerald, and Amy's like just chill out. You know, he took one step out of the equation. All you got to do is take it back to Angel Island and just plug it in. And Knuckles is like, you don't just plug it in.
You noob. I've been doing this all my life. You think we just plug it in? So they plug it in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else. They really do plug it in. So the island goes swooping up. I don't know. It looks like it's going pretty fast up into the sky, right? There are lines just making it go upwards as the rest of the planet forms back together. Amy and Knuckles take a good laugh. Like, ha ha ha, everything's over, everything's fine. Relic, our friend from the last Knuckles Team Dark arc, comes up out of breath and is like, is that a good laugh or is that a we're all gonna die laugh? We're all gonna die laugh. And they're like, yeah, hi, we're good, everything's good. So, cell phone call to Rouge. They're like, yeah, we killed Naugus.
I just love Knuckles' introduction, just like, Amy, this is Reddick. She likes ruins and stuff, so I'll let her stick around.
He's like, she's my girlfriend. You're like, no. Never.
We've been over this.
Over this. I'm like, I don't know. I ship it. Not really. I would more ship Knuckles and Amy. But other than that, let's forget that. Please, no comments about that. I didn't say it. Wasn't me. I didn't let out that secret. So, Naugus is dead. For all intents and purposes. We get Knuckles is like, thanks. And he's like, yeah, thanks for helping
nothing.
Punches her in the face.
Punches her off the island.
She gets trapped in the reforming crevices, and end of the series.
Amy Island.
Amy Island. They name it after her because she's dead now.
Just like this book.
We get a nice hug between the two of them, and they're cuddling up. Like, come on, guys. Amy and Knuckles are cuddling up, and they watch the.
I like it. It's nice.
I'd ship it.
It's a nice
I
moment.
do ship it. I like Knuckles and Amy. So we cut to a tea party, which is a fitting way to end this arc. A tea party between Nigel Flornicorn, Sally Flornicorn, Amy Rose, Cream and Cheese, and Sonic, who's just like, there are no chili dogs. I am mad.
I am mad.
I am
I'm
mad.
gonna be honest. I'm kind of mad too because like you just saved the entire planet, and the king of freaking Acornville can't get you a darn.
Has grapes and what looks like leaves on a plate.
I don't think those are grapes. I think those are olives.
No, those are grapes.
Oh, there, Jonathan.
What?
Move your thumb, you dope. There's a... There, they're
Oh,
grapes.
grapes. Oh,
those are either
oh,
olives
those
or
are
leaves.
probably olives. Leaves. They just eat leaves.
They're Knuckles' favorite food.
Knuckles,
Come on,
like,
man.
but he's not
Yeah,
even
Knuckles
there.
isn't there though, so
Are they eating them in spite of him?
get wrecked, Knuckles? You're your favorite
We're
food.
eating her leaves.
Look at dumb old. Look at
Wait. We stole his leaves from Angel Island, and we're gonna eat them.
look at dumb old Angel Island face up there.
Face.
Oh, Jeebus.
Where's
He's just
your
like,
face?
what'd you say? I like to imagine they can't see him, but then they say something and he's just like, what'd you say?
Knuckles just starts throwing rocks down.
Knuckles spits, and then King Acorn feels it on his head, and he's like, huh, is it starting to rain?
And then Knuckles is like,
Eat my leaves, will you?
I'll show you grapes.
The sour variety.
What does that even mean? I'll show you. I'll practice you.
Oh, boy.
This is stupid.
So-
this Knuckles isn't.
Knuckles is stupid.
Wally's in prison.
Yes, Nigel Acorn is like, hey, so did you check up on him? Is he in a cell? And Amy's like, yeah, I did something impossible with my eyes, because...
Oh my god.
So, they have one eye with two pupils.
Yep.
So
Well,
why...
they still have an eye lit though. That's fine.
But no, her one pupil is up. I just don't believe it.
I wonder though I wonder if there's any significance to the number on Norgus's arm, 567078.
Huh. That's a good question. Is it Tyson Hess's, or is it Adam Bryce Thomas's birthday?
5670
Yes. He was born
on the 56th month on the 70th,
Guys.
70th day.
Guys, this is how we find out what the next Sonic game is.
Oh no, Aaron Weber helped write this one. These numbers just lead to another disappointed party.
With audio issues.
Oh boy. So, back to the tea party. It's becoming a downer because Cream and Amy realize they didn't get to say goodbye to Chip, who spoilers for Unleashed and the other story that's going on at the same time,
That we'll get to next episode.
he's no longer with us. I am a little teary. Yeah, Sonic's like, hey, he's still with us in spirit. And I'm like, insensitive hedgehog.
I like when King Aiko was just like, yeah, I went to the war team, Dark, but Rouge just wanted us to take that giant Emerald River. And Shadow and Omega didn't really give a damn. So I was like, okay.
You know, they're like, we get paid handsomely in gum. We get paid handsomely in gum.
I like. Omega's like, gum is enjoyable to my servos.
How does he eat it? I
And
mean,
then-
chew it.
I like when the King's like, I went to let Knuckles join us, but he was like, get off my island, I'll shoot you.
That was Ghostbusters. I was trying to do the banjo music from Deliverance.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I didn't bring this up, but earlier Knuckles was like, "Please don't tell Sonic about our emotional discussion," and Amy was like, "Oh, why?" And he's like, "Because he'll make fun of me." And he's like, "No, he won't make fun of you. He'll tease you. He only teases people he likes." And he's like, "He teases Eggman." And she's like, "No, he taunts Eggman.
He mocks Eggman.
He mocks Eggman."
No, don't do that. Sonic will laugh. Knuckles, you want me to take your trailer? No. Sonic's up there who laugh at me.
And she says, "No, there's a difference." And so Sally says, in the end, "You make fun of him too much." And Sonic says, "No, I tease." And both him and Amy say, "There's a difference."
That's why Amy and Sonic are my OTP. Sally doesn't understand him. Doesn't understand him the way Amy does.
Sally and Sonic complete each other. Amy and Knuckles get each other, understand each other.
They get each other alright.
Yeah. It's Nigel Thornicorn and
boy.
Sonic, and apparently Knuckles took one of the fake emeralds and is doing a little swapperoo, where he's like, "Can you tell if this emerald on the shrine is real or not? Because somewhere else, where we can't see, is another emerald that's huge."
So I think. So are they implying that Rouge took the real emerald?
No, how could she?
He was just saying that Rouge took one of the giant emeralds out of Palazzo,
yeah.
and then Knuckles took some more.
Knuckles took another one as a decoy emerald, and
So now the real Master Emerald is like implanted in the heart of the island.
maybe.
Wherever.
I would say
they
maybe
dump
it's
it.
more likely that like they kept the altar and then they just built something on top of it.
I would have been like, we should just put them next to each other, and then been like, take one at a time. It's too big to carry two. Can't take two. You know, if I was Eggman, I'd just try and take both of them.
I know that's why he
Right?
doesn't have them right. I like how you gave yourself an idea and then disproved it. In
But
a
no,
sentence.
even if they're separate from each other, you just go after the second one, the other
I'm
one.
saying the other one's hidden, you mook.
I just don't understand. That was the end of the story. We look out onto a beautiful night sky, and Knuckles is content with his life, even though he made a poor choice of career. I mean, Master Emerald Holder? What does that mean?
Why not stripper?
I don't know. I just want to.
Why not
I just
stripper?
wanna
I
see-
I see it.
I want to see like Knuckles looking out across the ocean and then just going, I should get my bachelor's.
I bet I could sell this emerald for some tuition.
You just look it up. And it just goes. God, I'm lonely.
He dresses
All right,
the...
Relic, just. I mean, look, I'm not gonna change what I did before somebody else came along. I'm up here on an island all by myself. You do the math.
He just reflected about the other emerald. Of all the emeralds I've encountered over the years, he was the most human.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
We're
No,
not
that's-
gonna... We
have
just
to
we did
sum up,
the
fool.
review. Yeah. So, what
Chat-
did you think, TJ? Because you apparently want to...
Bottle dropping
we're
TJ
done.
over there.
This is a bad episode, so we gotta get out of here.
I thought it was
Labor
okay. This arc wasn't my favorite. Once again, I don't really like Walter Naugus. I guess I don't know. And then you get teased of Mystic Cave, and then they're there for like 2 seconds.
I think that's the worst part for me, is you don't get to see any Mystic Cave, and they're like, Mystic Cave. I understand why they did it, but I'm like, I wish... I don't think we've seen Mystic Cave in this comic.
My thing was just like 2 arcs in a row where it's like Naugus as the bad guy.
Yeah.
A few things, you know, it's not terrible. And there's good moments. There's great art. But it's a thing. I think the big issue that you and I have, Jonathan, is this was billed as Knuckles and Amy adventure.
Yeah.
And it's Knuckles and Amy with Team Dark fight Crystals and Naugus again.
See, I would have liked if it was just Knuckles and Amy's... Knuckles and Amy fighting Naugus.
Well, my thing was the whole thing was billed as Knuckles and Amy find emerald shards. I wouldn't have minded if they were doing that, and then Naugus. I think the whole thing of pretending to be an echidna. I was just like, I could have done it without that whole plot point. I could have done about that.
See, I think that was kind of nice because it plays up one of Knuckles' traditional character traits of, being kind of gullible, but it also shows his development as a character because he's a little bit skeptical. You can see the skeptic in his eyes. Like, I think I like that. I like that it. I like Naugus. I really like Naugus as a villain. I like that there's more than just Eggman out there to fight.
Although yeah, I'd like that, but again, my thing was 2 arcs in a row.
That is much. That is a little much.
That is the thing.
I mean, it's kind of like how with the trilogy, it was like, okay, Team Dark, and then it's like, okay, Knuckles and the Chaotix, and it's like, Team Dark again, really? I mean, at least there was a bit between, and it made sense because it was a trilogy. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was still like, well, I wouldn't mind seeing.
Honestly, in the end, Team
it didn't
Dark
really
had
matter.
Yeah, Team Dark had no reason to be there because
No.
Eclipse wasn't even the one in.
Eclipse wasn't there, and they don't.
See, the one thing that I think Shadow helped with was the whole, he backed up Knuckles' skepticism. He had support, but you could just use Amy or anyone in that role.
And there was like 2.5 issues of them just fighting Omega.
Yeah, I would have rather seen them fight Naugus. Or Naugus been more of a present threat.
Because the fight with Naugus is just like, he puts them all in crystals, and then his power's taken away, and they just pummel him.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's more that it's like, hey, we're in the last issue, and we're just now getting to Naugus. Let's wrap this up, punch him in the face, and go.
It's almost like the island was falling, and Ian had to do the writing. He was just like, the island's falling.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of pacing that issues. I feel I still liked it. I thought it was a good story. I just wish it was Knuckles and Amy.
I just wish it was what it was kind of sold to us as.
If that heart-to-heart between Knuckles and Amy wasn't a flashback and was, built up in the story and happened naturally, I think it would have been a better story.
Like, part 1 should have started with, it didn't have to be that exact scene, but that notion. Because it is odd just to have a flashback. Oh, this will be a convenient thing to show here, to have Knuckles just break out of the crystal.
Yeah, so we're breaking out of the crystal. See, I think we should have had. I do think we should have traveled around to a couple different zones in the traditional treasure hunt, go from place to place looking. I think that should have been the first 2 issues, and you're chasing through zones, Naugus, but you don't know it's Naugus at first.
That's part of what was so fun about Great Chaos Caveman Eclipse. They went through so many levels from SA2 in Chaos Caveman, and then they go through all of these Sonic 3 stages.
See, I think what they should have done was go through that. Then issue 3, you're at the beginning of Mystic Cave. Halfway through, you fall into Hidden Palace, and from there you pick up and you have your race to the top. I don't know, but I liked it. I thought it was good. I like Adam Bryce Thomas's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good.
Yeah,
there's a few things where we talked about it, mostly in issue 1. There's a few things in the first few pages where Amy and Knuckles kind of like slightly off model.
See, and I think that's because Adam Bryce Thomas is kind of going off of a classic snout on a modern.
Not so much the face, just there's certain panels with deep proportions, like his body, Knuckles' body proportions.
His legs are kind of thick, aren't they?
It's almost like an 06 Sonic Knuckles thing.
That.
He's like,
I don't know, but I mean that first splash page in the first issue of this arc is one of my favorite Knuckles.
It's a good Knuckles
in there. I like him climbing down to save that eagle. I think that's good.
Knuckles is always one of my favorite characters in the book, and it's just so much of this is just there's that whole 5-6 pages of talking about all the history of the trolls and Naugus. I'm like,
see, I think that's fine. I could do without Team Dark. I like Team Bark, but I like Team Bark. I wish that Bark and Bean were in it.
Yep.
Yeah. See, that I would have welcomed the Hooligans returning.
Yeah.
Versus, I think that would have added another, Team the Hooligans are still looking for Emerald Shards.
Yeah.
And they come.
That would have helped it breathe, but I think he wanted to end the Naugus story that he was doing in the last, because Naugus was getting powered from crystals, so he had to have from back in Eggman's Dozen, he had to.
He had to have been in here, which is why the whole.
Well, if you would have done Eggman's Dozen, something else, and then this
yes,
Knuckles, it would have been better.
Also, just the fact that because of how Eggman's Dozen ends, and there's certain panels where you can tell it's Naugus in the shadows. The whole my Frank Echidna is just no.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's kind of a nice throwback to the speculation of Knuckles in season 3 of Saturday Morning. because all the fans thought the eyes at the end of season 2, that last shot with Snively coming out, and then the glowing red eyes and like the kind of outline of the nose, people thought that was going to be Knuckles, but it was going to be Nagas.
Which is dumb because neither of those characters had the one pupil, they had the one eye, two pupils design.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work for either of those characters.
I don't know, but from notes and
I mean,
it was going to be Nagas.
They confirmed it was Nogus, but those eyes don't match up with Nogus's cartoon design at all. But
Yeah.
it's a fine arc. Rank it in like a all universe arc. I'd probably rank it towards the middle.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good. It's a fine arc.
Yeah.
It's a fine arc. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Sonic Says. Join us next time, where we will be jumping back to the main book to finally end the Shattered World arc with Panic in the Sky and the previously on issue that came beforehand, which I forget the name.
Something or other.
Because it's kind of a wasted issue, but
Yeah, it was. We'll talk about it
we'll
then.
talk about it next time. But I've been FTA.
I'm Jono.
Nah, I'm T-Bag.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.